Leadership is nothing more than making decisions.
He's the consummate leader in areas of team building, leadership strategies, and change management.
But my ultimate goal is that you leave with something that serves you. Next week, next year, 5 years from now, when you don't even remember where it came from.
I have never seen anybody that is more committed to the customer than Brian.
Anytime you've been at your best, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, as a leader, anytime you've been at your best, you have moved distinctly differently than when you've not been at your best.
It's a presentation the entire firm should experience.
1, 2, 3, go!
He is impacting their employees in such a positive way that the employees are asking to bring him back over and over and over again.
I've been teaching and speaking for about 16 years, and I know exactly what's most important to you. I have a really passionate desire to give you the best event that you've ever had. Number one, I know that you want your event to be customized. You don't want it to be the flavor of the month. You want it to tie into everything that you're doing. And I really work on customization. It's part of the fun for me. I'll spend time with your leaders, with your team, up in front of the event, asking questions like, what's most important to you about this event? Learning everything I can about who's in that audience. What are your themes for this event? How can I make it something that really fits your direction? And if you were to wave that magic wand over your crystal ball and I ask the question, what would you most like to have emerge from this experience? That's where I really tune into my focus.
Come on! Come on! Come on!
I also read and devour every piece of information you can give me about your team up front. So customization takes this from being kind of a off-the-shelf kind of program to something that's just for you. I believe we are one person. And so everything that I do has just as much application with your family, with your health, with your personal desires and dreams. Today we want to learn to step up the level at which we use recognition, acknowledgement, appreciation, and praise. Every person has a personal experience, something that really affects them. And so the breakthrough that we'll be dealing with is something that extends beyond the workplace. That makes each and every individual feel great about you and your organization because you care about them as more than just a number. I love to have fun. I love to get people engaged and participating. I also know that when we hear, we forget. When we see, we're more likely to remember. But it's when we do, we understand. And so in every event, whether it's a keynote, a half day, or full day, I like to get people off the sidelines and into the game.
Are you ready? Here we go. All right. You can even have fun with this. Here we go. Ready? Yes. 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 Yes.
When you're participating fully, when you're having fun, when you're surprised, when you're actually moving physically and not just sitting in a chair listening to a talking head.
Since the glorious year, 1965, I want you to take your non-dominant hand, put it straight out in front of you in a stop sign, and become Diana Ross of the Supremes. Stop in the name of love, baby. Come on. Of love, come on. Before you break my think it over.
It makes such an extraordinary difference in the impact and the lasting value of the experience. I love to use stories. Stories are really at the heart of what reaches people's spirit. I want people to laugh. I want them to feel emotionally moved. My stories have a lot of joy to them. They have a lot of value, and each one has a very powerful learning point, something content value that they can take with them. How can we take the experience that we have in the event and make it last, make it stick, make it work for you 6 months, 9 months, 2 years down the road? Number one, the experience itself is so simple in terms of the content pieces. Every person will emerge with clear, what I call vision keys, pieces they can take with them, they'll never forget them. Secondly, my books and CDs and other materials are a great way to reinforce the training experience. There are 3 key areas that I really love to focus on, that I have passion about working with your people. The first is leadership. Everything starts with leadership, and I call it breakthrough leadership. You know, we're all in the breakthrough business. That's why you have an event. You bring your people together, no matter where you've been, to go to that next level. And breakthrough leadership is a fresh way of looking at the concept of leadership.
What is leadership? Leadership is nothing more than making decisions. And so today what we want to do is kind of shatter that memory and conditioning about ourselves, understanding we are the CEO of our own lives.
And by the end of our program, every person will understand the difference they make as a breakthrough leader. The second area of passion that I have is about team building. My whole life has been about teams. When I was a young man as an athletic coach, later as a corporate vice president, I realized that the most important thing that I could do in my organization was bring people together, to value differences instead of to fear them.
On a great team, everyone associated with that team is eager to do whatever it takes. No job is too big, no job is too small. No job starts too early or ends too late.
I don't want to have a team of people that's just like me, because we'll only see a little bit. I want to have a team of people that sees the things that I don't see, that has passion about the things that I don't have passion about. When we put those together, we become an unstoppable force. The third area that I have a passion about is about thriving on change. You know, change is a word that most people in an organization, as soon as they hear the word change, they get kind of break out in a cold sweat and create a rash all over them because they fear change.
You know how you changed once you set that new destination? 3 words. You changed yourself. That's it.
Through the course of the program, we get people to change their emotional view of how to deal with change in every precious moment. Whether I'm doing a keynote for your organization or a half day or full day, we're going to focus in on 3 breakthrough tools. Every breakthrough starts with a vision. You must see what has not happened yet as if it's real.
First principle of vision is so powerful. Here's what it says. It's the first vision key for today. It says, what you focus on is what you create.
But vision's not enough. You can have all the vision in the world, but if you don't add the second breakthrough tool, which is called PR, if you don't add that personal responsibility, nothing changes.
Every single company that I go to every single year, if there was one thing that that they would like me to have some positive impact on more than anything else, it's right there. Personal responsibility, accountability. These are the hot buttons out there. But here's a question. What are the areas of personal responsibility that make the difference?
Well, in our program, we're going to focus in on what I call vision keys, whether in a keynote, a half day, or full day. We're going to focus in on vision keys, which are areas of personal responsibility to reset your vision to break through. They're specific, they're clear, they are powerful content learning points that they'll carry with them, not just that day, but for years and years and years. The third breakthrough tool is the accelerator. It's what I really call the fun. It's called the power of team. My whole life, I've had a passion about building teams. As an athletic coach, as a corporate executive, and you would not be having this meeting if you didn't want your team to come together better than they've ever come together before, to break through those silos.
How do you create the kind of team where it's amazing what's accomplished because nobody cares who gets the credit? Well, we could talk till we're blue in the face, but I believe this. I believe that when we hear, we forget. When we see, we're more likely to remember. But when we do, that's when we understand. So the last thing we're going to do today is we're going to become an extraordinary team in an extraordinary way.
Building teams is really where you get the acceleration. And we won't just have a seminar or a keynote that's about team. It's going to be an experience of team. And one promise I can make to you for sure, and that is by the time we finish, your team will feel more connected as one than they've ever felt before because of the nature that we build this whole program.